What's good, everybody? So it's been a little while since my last influencer pound for pound rankings, and a few cards have gone by. So there's been a chance for multiple changes. There's been probably a change for almost every fighter that's now on this list. But now I'm only going to do the top 25, and I'm going to keep it at top 25. And I'm going to continue to monitor these people over the course of their influencer boxing careers. So we're going to see a lot of changes, a lot of fixes. I'm going to keep you guys updated on this list. And of course, I do take your thoughts into consideration as well. Anybody who you think should be ranked higher than which person, or any type of debates on certain rankings, just let me know in the comments below, man. I do take your thoughts into consideration like I did with the last video, the people who commented on the last pound for pound rankings. Of course, I took your thoughts into consideration. And of course, the first thing I did for you guys that I took into consideration was to take a few people off, people that aren't really influencers like Anthony Taylor and Wally Sharks. So people like that are removed from this list. And like I said, this is only going to be a top 25. And people who aren't on this list, if they do fight and look impressive, of course, they can make their way onto the list. But like I said, there's been a lot of changes. So I'm going to go over all the changes and everything. So let's get into this pound for pound rankings influencer boxing list. So at number 25, this is the only spot that I got shared between Barbie and Julie Polka. I just couldn't really decide. There's too many people on this list that go all the way to 24. And I couldn't really decide who deserved the number 25 spot. Both these girls are set to fight in the Kingpin final, so whoever wins should be guaranteed in this top 25. Let me know who you think between Barbie and Julie Polka. Who do you think takes this matchup? And who do you think deserves this 25th ranked spot? At rank number 24, it's Virus. It's the same ranking as before. Same with rank number 23, we got FaZe Temper. The same exact ranking as before. Next up is a little bit of a down in ranking from Astra Duet. Astra Duet now ranked number 22. She was ranked number 20. It's just due to inactivity, man. The other people have been active. They have been fighting and looking more impressive. Unfortunately, it's not her fault. She was set to fight, but things happened. She got hurt. She couldn't fight, but still, it puts her a little bit lower on this list. Should she be more active, she could work her way back up easily. At number 21, we got Swarms. Swarms made a big leap here, all the way from 38. Swarms looked really impressive in that Survivor Tag match. I was so impressed at how he came out and the improvements. And wow, this guy has got power too. He lets those hands fly. He throws some combinations. I'm very, very impressed with how Swarms has been developing. So of course, the person just above him is going to be Nick LMAO. Nick was ranked number 21, now ranked 20. He is just barely above Swarms because in that Survivor Tag match, they could have gave it to either guy, but they gave it to Nick. So Nick is going to be just one rank above Swarms, but they're both right there, practically dead even. I would like to see them in a one-on-one fight against each other. Next up, we got the guy that you all love, former ranked number 22, now ranked number 19, Luis Pineda. Pineda, of course, he hasn't fought, but he's moving up in this rankings due to some people falling off, some people dropping down, and of course, due to me taking a few people off the list. So Luis Pineda now sits at rank number 19. At rank number 18 is Ashley Raksu. He was ranked 19. He just moves up due to some people getting taken on this list, like I said before. Same with Blueface. Blueface stays around the same. He was ranked 18. He moves to 17. Same next with Deji. Deji was 17. He moves up to 16. And the same with Awesome McBroom. Awesome McBroom was 16. He now moves up to 15. And then here's where things start to take a turn. Whindersson Nunes now. He was my 5th ranked fighter, influencer boxer. He is now ranked 14. You could tell he has the skills, right? He's number 14. He's still above like Awesome McBroom, Deji, and all these other people because he has the skills. He has it. We saw it in that Philippek fight. He just didn't show it in this last fight against King Kenny. He didn't show it. I don't know if it was his preparation. I don't know if he just underestimated Kenny. I don't know what it was, but he just didn't show it. But he has it in the bag. He has it in his back pocket. So he's still going to be ranked a little bit higher than a lot of these other guys, but just because he has the skills, he just needs to show it. Rank number 13 is Jay Swingler. Jay Swingler is a Misfits champion, so I can't rank him too low. And he does get in a lot of tough fights, a lot of tough firefights. So I just didn't want to rank him too high. He's still got some work to do. And I think he's still going to be out for a little bit longer to nurse those injuries. And who knows? I'm still not sure even if he's going to come back to influencer boxing, but I expect him to be out a little bit longer. So Jay Swingler sits at 13. And next is another huge leap in these rankings. This one might be a little something y'all don't agree with, but man, number 12 is Yuddy Gang. He moves all the way up from 36. And I was a little blind to it before, but Yuddy Gang has got skills. And of course, Uncle Pizza beat him, but Uncle Pizza hasn't fought yet. So should Uncle Pizza fight again and look similar or have a better performance, you should expect Uncle Pizza to be on this list. But he hasn't fought again. He's only fought Yuddy Gang. So I'd like to see how Uncle Pizza looks in another fight. And I'm sure he will make it onto this list. But number 12 is definitely Yuddy Gang because he touched up Dean the Great big time. He struggled a little more with Wally Sharks, but against Dean, it was money for Yuddy, man. He was touching Dean up big time. He was the one that was making Dean want to tag out. He was touching Dean clean with nasty combinations. He was very, very quick. I was very impressed with how he looks. You can definitely tell he's got some serious skills. So that's why he works his way all the way up to number 12 on my list. At number 11, we got Alex Wasabi. I would like to see Alex Wasabi rematch Deji on this next Misfits Prime card. So if they do rematch, we could see a big change in this list here. So I'm excited to see what's next for Alex. Hopefully it's Deji. At number 10, we got Le'Veon Bell. He moves up from 12. I just think Le'Veon Bell has a lot of skills. He hasn't been active, but he's been calling out Anthony Taylor. So, a good fight for him coming up if that's what's next. And Anthony Taylor has been talking trash back. So it's looking like that could be next instead of that Paul Bamba fight with Anthony Taylor. I would love that matchup for this Prime card. But Le'Veon Bell sits at rank number 10 now. Next up at number 9 is Jarvis. Jarvis didn't look bad against Gibb. It's just that Gibb is just overwhelming with that power, with that non-stop pressure. Just so overwhelming. And Gibb is very, very high ranked on this pound for pound list. So, Jarvis actually moved up from 11 up to 9. He fought one of the top guys, man. That's not really going to drop you. That's not really going to hurt you. And due to people being taken off this list, Jarvis moves up to rank number 9 now. At number 8, we got Logan Paul. Logan Paul getting back in the influencer boxing mix. You love to see it. So I can't wait to see how he's looking. We don't know how well he's going to look though, since he's been out of the game for so long. Who knows how his gas tank is going to hold up. As we all know, he gassed out in both of those fights with KSI. So who knows how his gas tank is going to look coming into this fight. Having been away from boxing for so long, probably not even really training until pretty recently, at least not consistently until pretty recently. So Logan Paul falls at 8. At number 7, we got Slim, another Misfits champion, and he hasn't been very active either lately, but Slim definitely has the skills. But the only thing holding him back from being higher on this list is his inactivity. I would like to see Slim get on this Prime card. He needs to fight soon. He really needs to. He's going to fall down and more in this rankings if he does not fight. But he sits at number 7. He was 7 before. He's 7 now. He sits at the same ranking. At number 6 now is Dean the Great. Dean the Great was ranked number 8. Now is at number 6 due to, of course, me taking those people off. So Dean now sits at number 6, which I'm cool with Dean sitting at 6. He is a Misfits champion. He's undefeated. And We've seen him lately, of course, in some dangerous moments with Yudi Gang and with Wally Sharks, but Dean definitely has a lot of skill. There's no doubt about it. He just needs to work on his defense a little bit more, and we could expect to see Dean possibly being one of the best influencers in this scene when KSI and Jake Paul are out of here. Next up at number 5, we got Saul Poppy. Saul Poppy progresses up from rank number 6. He did have that loss against Anthony Taylor, but there's no denying Saul Poppy has the skills, and he is also one of those guys that when KSI and Jake Paul are all done, he's another one of those guys that can take that crown, that number 1 pound for pound spot. He has definitely got the skills, and he just needs to mix it up a little bit better. I'd like to see Saul Poppy let his hands go a little bit more instead of just trying to throw that one shot, that one knockout shot. I'd like to see him throw a little bit more combinations. So it's going to be interesting to see who he has next as an opponent. Hopefully it's going to be someone who's game to brawl, who's game to come forward and throw his hands, let their hands go, so we can really see what Saul Poppy's made of. Next up is probably the most impressive performance that we have ever seen from an influencer boxer. King Kenny bumps up from number 10 all the way up to number 4. I know people might be debating whether King Kenny deserves to be above someone like Salt Poppy, Slim, and Dean the Great, but that performance, man, was just unreal. Kenny has now grown so much right in front of our eyes. He knows how to use that distance, that range. He's got some really good power too. You don't really see power like that from those long, lanky type fighters. Kenny has got some power. He's sitting people down left and right. And now with Daly in his corner, man, he is preparing this guy for absolute war each and every time he gets in there. He looks better every time. He looked very, very quick on the mitts. He looked really quick in the ring too against Whindersson Nunes. He's got a crazy good up jab. It comes from the knee, and due to his long arms, you can't even see that shit coming. So King Kenny, man, I was really, really impressed with his performance. Say what you want, but I like King Kenny at number 4. And of course, still at number 3 is the man who will be taking on King Kenny in the Kingpin finals, is Anisan Gibb. Rightfully so. I think he sits perfect at number 3. I've seen some people have him a little lower on their list, which I don't understand because Gibb is up there, man. Gibb is up there. He's a cardio machine. He does carry power in those hands, and he puts that pressure on you. And there's just not a lot of influencers that are going to be able to handle that. There's really not. I can't really think, apart from KSI, I can't really think of any other influencers that might be able to handle it. It's going to be very interesting to see if King Kenny can. So I can't wait for this matchup. Expect there to be major changes due to this list after the Kingpin finals are over. We all know who the final 2 are. Of course, the final 2 is going to be between KSI and Jake Paul. In my last pound for pound rankings list, I had KSI in number 1. But I've listened to you guys. I sat back and I've thought about it. And rightfully so, Jake Paul deserves this pound for pound number 1 ranking spot. Even though I think KSI will win this fight. Even though I think if KSI and Jake Paul did fight, I do think KSI would win. But KSI just needs to sit at number 2. He hasn't fought the opposition, and his fights have been too quick. We haven't seen enough from him yet. So now that I'm really sat down, I thought about it. KSI rightfully should be number 2. Jake Paul just got done beating Nate Diaz. He beat Anderson Silva. He fought Tommy Fury. This can very well change if KSI goes out there. If KSI, he doesn't even have to beat Tommy Fury. If KSI looks better than Jake Paul did against Tommy Fury, KSI rightfully deserves the number 1 spot. But for now, until then, KSI rightfully should sit at number 2 in my opinion. Y'all have convinced me. So KSI at number 2, even though I think he would beat Jake, he's number 2. Jake Paul, of course, the pound for pound king of influencer boxing right now. So that's it for my pound for pound rankings. Let me know how I did in the comments below. Let me know if I'm forgetting anybody or if there's any changes you would make in your list, or give me some opinions of yours, some pointers of any things I should change, I should do. And of course, you can expect a pound for pound ranking list for the pro scene also. I expect to make a video on that pretty soon, so you can expect that coming up. As always, thank you guys so much for the support. We really appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next video.